Welcome back. It's been a long day. Today I'm going to be reading you guys a backstory that I thought I had in mind when I came back into that building. I had this idea, and the stuff that you're about to read may or may not be canon, but all I know is I wanted to make this because everyone's been asking yourselves, does Susie really have parents? Well, here's my point of view. And I'm not going to let my computer read it this time. I'm going to read it. So this is Susie's tragic backstory by me. This is also a try not to cry challenge. Once upon a time, an adorable beast was born with two parents who looked just like her. They named her Susie. As she grew up, she was living a happy life with her mom and dad. Her mom would help her with things. Her dad would teach her something new every day. Susie was loved by many people in her neighborhood. But all that changed when she turned 10. On her 10th birthday, her parents must leave for war. They hired a babysitter named Toriel. She would babysit Susie every other day. One day, Toriel introduced Susie someone new and unfamiliar. She introduced Chris, a 9-year-old human boy. As Chris waved at her, Susie felt uncomfortable. She never met a human before. Chris wants to hold her hand, but she doesn't like him. Toriel stated that he is her son. Susie didn't really want to hear more of the conversation. Chris hugs his mom in tears. Toriel didn't understand why Susie doesn't like him. A few days later, it was time for them to go to their elementary school. While driving, Susie started to worry about her parents. Toriel comforted her with a hug. When they arrived at school, a deer-like creature went to Chris. Noelle was the very first friend Chris had. Susie, however, didn't have many friends. Chris pleaded many times for Susie to be his friend too. She still felt uncomfortable. When class ended, gunshots were heard. Susie was startled at the loud noise. She went outside to investigate. She saw multiple monsters fighting at war. "Mommy! Daddy!" Susie cried out. Her mother looked to see who cried out her name. Then, she saw her daughter in a nervous wreck. Her father kept on fighting. Susie was too afraid to move. That's when the tragic happened. Her parents were shot to death. Susie watched as her parents faded to dust. She watched in horror as their souls shattered. Toriel ran out to see what's happening. She sees Susie covered in blood and dust. Toriel saw what happened and ran to Susie's aid. Susie bursts into tears as she begins to grieve. Chris and Noelle watch from behind. They felt so sorry for her loss, especially Chris. He wanted to make it up for her. As they went home, Susie became unresponsive. She would just lay on the couch, lifeless, and questioning her own life. Chris and Toriel had a plan. They are going to make a pie. When they were finished, Chris gives her the first slice. That's when she snapped. Susie throws the pie at his face and ran upstairs. Chris started to cry at this point. He never understood why she hates him. During the night, Susie couldn't sleep. She couldn't eat. She didn't want to live. She was losing it as her memory of her parents' death plays in her head. Susie couldn't take it anymore. She made sure everyone else was still asleep. She runs away. She ran away, and she didn't came back. Susie ran into the woods to hide. The next morning, Toriel goes to wake Susie up, only to see a note on her desk. "Dear Toriel, I have run away to find a new family. You and your son tried everything to cheer me up, but nothing has worked. Without Mom and Dad by my side, I am nothing. Now with them dead, I just have no purpose in my life. If they're gone, then I want to be gone. I'm sorry if I am hurting anyone for doing this, but I just can't live like this without my parents. If anyone finds this note, then I am long gone. Goodbye, Toriel. Signed, Susie. Toriel cried over losing Susie. Meanwhile, Chris was in his room trying to figure out why Susie left. After reading that note, he became more anxious and sensitive. Susie has spent her days living in the wilderness, all alone, completely homeless. She will let wild animals take care of her, but she will eat them when she's hungry. Susie started to hit puberty when she turned 14. Susie was living in unexpected places. However, she still attended school. One day at middle school, she made fun of other monsters. She would disrespect almost anyone. This was the part where her personality started changing. She has turned into a bully no one likes. This continued for so many years until she turned 18. Now turning into a homeless high schooler, she now sleeps in an alleyway. People will visit her often, but she would just scare them off. One day, she started to attend Ebot High School, a school that Toriel started to run. Her son Chris will be attending the school too. Susie managed to get in without letting Toriel see her. As she walked down the hallway, she saw Chris. Chris gasped in shock. He saw Susie attending his class. Tears started to form in his eyes. He never saw her in so many years. Chris immediately ran to her and begged Susie to come back. While Chris was begging, a new feeling was born inside of Susie. Now that she has no parents, she admits that Chris is secretly making fun of her, but he really isn't. This made Susie so jealous that she felt a rage. She grabbed Chris and shouted, "Shut up!" and shoved him in a locker. Susie was bullying Chris during the entire semester. When Chris comes home, he is forced to not tell Toriel over what he sees, because when he tells her, Susie will kill him. "If you ever dare to tell your mother, I will murder you," Susie once told him. Chris has feared her ever since this happened. This went on for several days until suddenly, Chris was asked to find more chalk. He encountered Susie once again and caught her eating the chalk. After being caught, Susie threatened to eat his face off. After that, both students go inside the supply closet, only to realize that they went to the dark world. Throughout Chris and Susie's journey throughout the dark world, Susie started to realize that fighting is not the answer. When they got back, Susie apologized about everything she has done. Chris accepted her apology. She still wants to be kept secret to herself. Chris agreed not to tell anyone. Day after day, Susie felt better after her journeys in the dark world. Her kind personality is slowly coming back. Despite being homeless, she is still a girl that everyone wishes to be with. She is now known as the homeless axe warrior to this very day. The end. I hope you guys enjoyed, because, look, I cried while typing this because I genuinely feel sorry for her. If you're wondering why did I make this, because Susie is basically the most relatable video game character of all time. Me and her share the same personality, kind of, except I'm not that threatening and I'm not that mean. But I hope you guys enjoyed, because this was indeed very tragic, and I'm hoping that when chapter 3 comes out, we should all remember this story, and probably soon, Susie will indeed tell the story, and some of this will happen in the game. If you're wondering how my day went at school, read the description below. I hope you guys have a fabulous day. Goodbye.